Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Draped one last time. Draped in gold here for our final episode. I'm Jack Farmer, being joined by the man that needs no super suit, Flobo Boyce. Flobo, how are you, old pal?
Well, I was doing pretty much on the level 5 out of 10, but I saw that fancy Jack tie and tie bar and vest, and I was like, dang, now I feel worse.
Well, this is an old throwback for folks who have been fans of the shows and fans of our productions for a while. Go at old Fancy Jack. For those who don't remember, man, I spent a good 3 years wearing suits to every show I did, Flobo.
Well, it was really weird, man. And you stuck with the gimmick, unbeknownst to everyone else on your team.
Yeah, I was, the only reason I stopped is it started to feel like it was out of place.
This pandemic, you're at home.
Yeah, it was a little weird. And then I was like, why am I dry cleaning suits for podcasts in my living room? And so it was a slow drop off. I didn't just drop the gimmick, but decided, gonna bring it back. Gonna bring it back for the final Draped in Gold, at least this rendition. We keep saying final, but we always come back, it seems like.
But right now, currently the third iteration of Draped that we're canceling. So 3 up, 3 down.
We get better every time. Besides Futurama, has anyone else bounced back from 3 cancellations?
I can't think of that. That is definitely the gold standard of multiple cancellations.
Family Guy, I believe, moved around quite a bit before securing their spot. But this is it, Flobo. It's our not maiden voyage. It's our what's the opposite of maiden?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
I had some words I wanted to say, but I'm not getting canceled at the finish line, Flobo.
What is the opposite of a maiden? A matron? I don't know.
Matron voyage. Everyone in the chat, everyone who's joined us for this final farewell, thank you so much. Feel free to chat. We're going to be interacting with the chat a little bit today, and instead of getting too in the nitty-gritty of what's going on just this week, I'm going to indulge us, Flobo. We're going to chat about us and what we've done and where we've been. And Flobo, I want to talk about our little journey here in podcasting a little bit. Something that I was thinking about today. And I see about, man, when we started at AfterBuzz TV in a dumpy little studio in Hollywood, California, and you would always correct me to say North Hollywood. And I would get upset because no one outside of Hollywood cares if it's Hollywood or North Hollywood.
But you know the difference.
I live in Redondo Beach, but if I say that to people outside of here, no one cares. Just say LA, Jack.
Tell them you live on the other side of Redondo Beach.
Yeah.
And that's an inside joke for us LA people.
Yeah, I'm in the Redondo Beach Panhandle.
Right, exactly. It's like Redondo Beach Heights.
Wheel 5 Stud coming through says, "What's up, gentlemen? Glad to be here one last time. How are you doing tonight?" I am an 8 out of 10 Wheel 5 Stud Muffin. So glad you came through for us this last time. Flobo, talk to me about, I bring up the AfterBuzz TV studios because when you get there and you start doing this, that was both of our first intro into podcasting, or covering wrestling anyways. And I remember when you get there, it's so weird because people would be like, oh man, I've been doing this for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And you're like, man, how could you have done it for so long? I don't get it yet. Here we are, Flobo, 6 years later, doing this, veterans of the game. And I remember AfterBuzz TV, after shows, we'd always hang out outside the studio and chat. And I remember you saying to me, Jack, it's 2019. I think it's time for me to hang it up after SummerSlam this year.
Oh yeah, that was the plan.
Talk to me a bit about the Flobo that was to the Flobo that is.
So not to flex, but because it actually makes sense in the story. So I had done wrestling podcasting before. This I was like the basement generation. It was like the plug in the webcam and on my compact Presario and being like, I can't believe Dino's that world champ. And it shout out to Justin LaBar because he was the only guy really doing it back then. And so that was like the thing. But when I got to AfterBuzz, because of that, I thought I had made it. There was no ceiling beyond being in a cramped / Hollywood, North Hollywood studio. So I thought I had a whole career. I thought I was long in the tooth. I thought I was like LeBron, age 40, going, you know what? I gave it a hot 16 months, man. It's about time I quit. And guess what? A pandemic came and quit for us. So there you go.
It's I got to give us a little bit of credit, Flobo. I mean, being resilient, and the reason I bring up AfterBuzz TV is because we have gone through so many iterations of AfterBuzz to Pandemic AfterBuzz to Wrestling Inc. to Ringer, actually it's Ringer to Wrestling Inc. to
right. That was a peak. After that Spotify check, it was all downhill after that, man.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, we do this for the love of the game, but we do it for the money if people paid us.
Oh, absolutely. Love of the game, but paying bills is great too.
Ain't nothing like paying bills.
Oh, yeah.
Paying rent when rent's due. How cool is that?
You know what being rich is buying something and not checking your bank account afterwards to see the balance. I'm just putting it out there.
I'll tell you, when I never felt more privileged. I went out to this concert on Friday, and there was parking close by, but it was a little bit more pricey than if I drove a little bit farther. And I said, you know what? I'm just parking close.
Whoa. I bet you pressed everybody in that car.
Dude,
I bet.
Oh, man. Everyone stood up and applauded. And like,
right.
And what was crazy is the parking attendant was actually the CEO of a major company and hired me on the spot.
It turned very LinkedIn post. I was going to park, so I paid extra, and now I'm the CEO.
Danny C says manly stash. I think that's just the lighting, because I feel like Flobo and I have the same facial hair we've always had.
Right, Mustache Mountain son.
Mustache Mountain. But yeah, through these times, Danny C, I want to give you a shout out for always being so supportive of Draped in Gold and Wheel 5 Stud. But Ricky Zaldivar, West Hollywood is mad for that. You know, Ricky Zaldivar, also someone who has been awesome to have around. And as we wrap things up, I'm a big fan of transparency. And, one of the reasons why, stepping away now is schedules are getting a little hectic, and the reality of being able to keep up with wrestling at the level we would need to do this is becoming a bit unrealistic. And over the years, when I first started, I said to you, Flobo, like one of my big gripes was people who do this, and you can tell they skim the episodes or they just check the results, and because they're not watching the shows, they don't love it, they don't understand certain things, and they just hate it, and they complain about everything even though they're not really watching. It always griped me and bugged me. And as the schedule gets a little crazier, I realized I was skimming some shows and I was checking some results, and I realized I wasn't as invested in shows as I used to be, and I had to make the decision.
Defeat the Sith, not join them.
I just said, well, that's the point. Is I said, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't use the Force at all.
Right.
And that was one of the reasons why one of the things that really made me decide I probably should step away, at least for a little bit. Because I never wanted to be that person that was like, I saw the results on Fightful, and I can't believe so-and-so, who I'm not invested in because I haven't watched a full episode in 3 months, is getting a push, and I was worried I was coming that way. And the reason I bring that up now, Flobo, is as I look at all these incredible folks here, like A+ LA coming through the chat. I enjoy watching wrestling. But what I really love about this show is doing the show. And I always say this to you, Flobo, being on the show, chatting with you, chatting with the folks in the chat, in the comments. I love this part. But I also feel like we shouldn't do this unless we're able to do it properly. And that's why, as of now, we're stepping away. Will we come back? I don't know. I don't want to be that person that puts false hope in people's heads, but it's certainly possible. But talk to me a bit about where you're at in the world of pro wrestling and whatnot.
And I've totally stepped on your entire like heart to heart with people. I'm like, that's crazy. No, but it's very similar.
You always step on my bit.
That's what I do, man. I make sure I go over first and then everyone else. I'm kind of in the same boat. I think if you look back all the times we were fired, right, between Wrestling Inc. and Spotify and The Ringer and AfterBuzz, when we were both running the Raw show, and then you did AEW and I did NXT, it was like the mission for us was to make wrestling fun again. That sounds like a political thing, but really it was like it had got too serious. Everyone wanted to be on a podcast being like, this is the worst decision ever. Everyone wanted to go to these shows and pretend to be like the most hard-hitting wrestling journalist and go back and fanboy out afterwards, maybe myself included. And so I really wanted to have fun how it used to be when we were kids. I mean, wrestling is built for kids. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but we become fans young and we roll with it. So having Boyce good charms is great. But yes, when we try to, both of us watch between 7 and 15 hours of wrestling to give enough context to make jokes, because again, the crossovers were happening and you didn't want to ignore AEW, but AEW is working with Japan, but Japan also has talent in Mexico. It just started to cascade. So this show started off talking about NXT UK, NXT, and now we're going to like 15 hours a week. Just to make ends meet. So I enjoy doing it. I enjoy hanging with you. I enjoy putting you over, brother. I love saying Draped in Gold. I mean, there's so many people that came up to me who aren't fans of wrestling that said, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I love the fact that you guys argue all the time. But it was time to go.
Yeah, and again, there's been more people like Killer of Demons coming through. Always appreciate KOD showing up. I always talk about the people that are part of the show. I don't think he's here right now. He hasn't mentioned anything in the chat, but like Dylan Matthews, I want to give a shout out to from the very beginning of time at AfterBuzz TV. When I first started doing this, I always say it's very nerve-wracking especially when you join a company like AfterBuzz, for instance, and you're still finding your voice and stuff. And Dylan was one of the first people with his little gifs he would make. Really made me feel like I was part of the team and really made me feel like I was part of the show. And it really helped introduce me to the idea of this family that we have connected through all this. And that was always really, really special to me. So I appreciate you guys. And Ryan here, Jack, the Thigh Guys.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
It is a thing.
Buttless chaps.
Well, there's the chaps and the Thigh Guy.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, so don't
concerning about.
Don't convolute them, Flobo. Two very different things. You can't be a chap and a thigh guy because the chaps cover the thighs, and that would therefore disqualify you.
We are nothing without our standards.
Being a thigh guy. But Ryan, man, appreciate you. And then Omar says, "Gonna miss you guys." Omar,
where you been, man? It's been lurking.
The lurkers. And then Ryan and the Gallus theme. Yeah. We got the Danny C, by the way. Got to give a big shout out to Danny C with a super chat one last time. Because Flobo loves ska. Tune in next week for Draped in Ska. Flobo, this was a super chat. It's the last episode.
Right.
Give us a little impression that I get from Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Don't do this to me, Jack. I will end the stream right now.
Never had to knock on wood.
Ska is the worst music form known to me.
But I know someone who has, which makes me wonder if I should.
Thanks for the super chat, Danny C.
Makes me wonder if these lyrics are very bad.
They are terrible. Ska is terrible.
Come on, give us a little.
I don't know any ska music things.
Sell out with me, oh yeah, okay, sell out.
Well, that's because I do weddings.
We do not. Record company's gonna give it lots of money. I love that song when it came out because guess what I am? I'm a sellout, baby.
Yes.
By the way. Tony Khan, you could have rolled through. I understand that there's a lot of news you probably don't want to talk about right now, but I probably wouldn't have asked you those questions anyways. Bummed out you didn't make it, pal. Maybe one other time we will chat. But Danny C, you are very appreciated. Terrence Matthews, another great part of our show with a super chat, said, sad to see y'all go. Maybe you guys could guest on one of Denise's I'm assume shows, not lives.
I know you might, but I don't think Denise knows I'm alive. I don't know if she even knows I exist. I worked with her one day on Xbox X360 years ago. I don't think she remembers me.
I worked with her once, and she was a delight. She will always have my support.
Well, hey, yes, she's a delight. I'm just saying. I don't think don't make me sound like I'm a loser now. I'm saying I think she does them a lot.
I'm saying, like, she was set to do ring announcing, but she wanted to do interviews, so she gave up ring announcing so I could do ring announcing and she could do interviews. So because of her, I got a spot on a show. So I will always be thankful to her for that. I got to do a Fightful show, and I would love to do another one. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Probably not in the immediate future because I'm going to be working on Fridays with Monster Jam coming up.
What?
Here,
Monster Jam? You mean with the monster trucks and stuff?
Monster Jam trucks.
Oh, okay. Whatever, man. Yeah, corporate shill.
Sell out with me. Oh, yeah, sell out.
Leave it up to you to find a fitting ska song for that.
It's what I do.
Yeah.
Will 5 Stud Muffin says, it's been a pleasure to be part of this ride from the very beginning. I'm grateful for everything that you guys have done. Thank you for everything, and I'm sure we will continue to talk, and hopefully can come back together again in a different capacity some point down the road. And thank you for everything, guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you, KOD. I was looking at the next one, KOD. Thank you, KOD, as well, but thank you, Wheel 5 Stud. And then Zach saying National Christmas Card Day, everyone. And where's Akira? Akira could have been on the show. Would have appreciated that as well.
I didn't.
You didn't invite anybody. You left us hanging, Flobo.
I did. I can't even feign indignation. I totally left everybody hanging.
So it's been quite a journey. I want to talk about the journey of John Cena, because obviously one of the things that sort of works out with our show coming down to an end is John Cena's run coming to an end. And there's been a lot of ink spilt over the final year of John Cena's career. There has been a lot of opinions about whether Gunther's the right guy, this, that, and the other, whatever the case is. At this point, it is what it is. I think at this point, good, bad, or ugly, we kind of move on from it. John Cena, one of the most self-aware stars, said in an interview, in 3 weeks, no one's going to care. And I feel like that's very poignant. But I want to talk about the journey of John Cena, Flobo, and his career. And we obviously don't have time to do a retrospective of the whole thing. But when John Cena first started, he came out and he was in the red booty shorts and coming out there with ruthless aggression. Do you remember this? Were you watching at that time? Do you remember your initial thoughts of John Cena?
I do remember the original match, but it's kind of funny. I didn't realize at the time his booty shorts was the same shorts I used in my Creator Wrestler. I just made the connection this week. But no, I remember him coming out, and I was like, this guy.
I like that you admit that your character wears booty shorts.
Well, you got to. The chap North Thigh guys. I figured. I thought, because I heard about the prototype. And I heard how cool the prototype was in, I think, UPW, which was like the California Independent Student time, that when he came out, it was like, oh, yeah. And that night was great because, he wrestled Angle, and Angle made everybody look good. And I think he talks about it now, but those months afterward was just awful. He just came out and go, I'm going to win this match. And American wrestling isn't much a fighting spirit kind of. You can't just come out and say, I'm better than you. And we hated it. It was like, we don't want this spicy vanilla with the specks of beans in it. We want characters, man. And so, vanilla bean, not a fan? Okay.
Spicy, well, no, when you say vanilla bean, it sounds delicious. When you say spicy vanilla with beans in it, it sounds like some kind of diarrhea.
Okay, all right. That's gross. That is gross.
I got sorry, man. I got the spicy. I had the spicy vanilla with the beans,
Yeah. Oh. But it was great. It was a great debut. But after that, it was like all downhill. So,
what's funny is when he debuted, I loved him because I love the vanilla wrestlers. I love the, especially at that point in my life. I love the guys who are kind of generic but wrestled hard, fighting spirit kind of stuff. That's why you look back and I love Lance Storm. I love these guys that just wrestled well. And that was what they did. So
you say that, but if Lance Storm was American, guarantee you wouldn't give a crap about him.
Why do you feel that way? You think I love Canadians?
I think the Team Canada stuff was great. The fact he wore red, white, and black as an Impact player, the fact he changed all those titles with stickers in WCW, all is part of Lance Storm's lore. That wouldn't happen if he was an American.
Lance Storm became my favorite wrestler when he was in ECW, so it was before the.
But the
Team
color
Canada
coding,
stuff.
the red, white, and black, that was all Canadian colors, man.
Oh, red, white, and black. Yeah, that's a cool color combo scheme. I mean, come on.
I'm just saying.
But white and black doesn't really count, I feel like.
Fair enough.
Like when people are like, oh, these are the best color scheme. Like when people are like, oh, the Raiders have the best jersey. Yeah, they're all black, of course. It looks cool. Like who doesn't think that looks cool?
I mean, 20 years ago, maybe, sure.
Like that's how if there was a baseball team in all black, you'd go, yeah, that's the coolest looking baseball team.
The White Sox.
Right, they look cool. Well, they got the pinstripes though. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's lame. But the alternate uniforms are great.
Yes. Any team that's in all black, it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Or all white too. I feel like it's kind of the same. So black and white.
Mordecai wore all white. Remember him? Yeah,
he was sweet.
No, he was not. Yeah. Stop. That was a lame part of that time in SmackDown history. Was Mordecai.
It's interesting as I go back and look at John Cena's career, and then he becomes the rap guy. And it's so funny how history changed because he could freestyle a rap and how silly that is. But Flo, I want you to talk to me about characters and how important it is to be more than just a wrestler, and how he kind of John Cena proved it. And a lot of people, especially on the indies, are like, I don't want to do something stupid or whatever. Right. I want to be the cool guy. But John Cena embracing something that was stupid, really. Like when you look at the idea of the Doctor of Thugonomics, it's stupid on paper, but he made it great.
Oh yeah, I think there was that double layer of it being a very provocative post-attitude era character of a guy who said what he felt like on the microphone in rhyme, but then it was also that very ruthless aggression, a white boy rapper. It sounds like an 80s character brought back to life, and it's a very tightrope to walk because, I mean, for every Santino Marella who's going to be Hall of Fame if he's not already, there's a Paul Burchill, right? And those character developments are very similar. He was a pirate, and Paul Burchill couldn't get out of that. And so, yeah, there was a bit of that, will he ever be authentic self? And it worked. And when he became the C Nation post-Chain Gang, that's why a lot of guys our age were like, oh, he's not my wrestler because he felt like he sold out. But for kids, it was like, oh my gosh, this guy is now a hero. I want to look up to him, which is like another character only a few guys can do in any promotion before it gets boring. So it was a cool trajectory, if I say so myself.
I think one of the things that John Cena doesn't get enough credit for also is the character evolved. And when I say by evolved, a lot of characters change and a lot of characters are different. But John Cena today, it is a very natural gradient of him going from that Doctor of Thugonomics to who he is today. And you can still see parts of who he was in who he is today. And the obvious is like the jorts, right? But he didn't just change. He wasn't like he was the Doctor of Thugonomics and one day he was like, okay, now I'm the legend who's giving back to the industry. It's a very subtle change. He was always evolving, always changing, but it wasn't just gimmick change. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that more wrestlers could probably learn from. I mean, sometimes it's not the wrestler's choice, obviously. Sometimes someone in the back goes, guess what you're doing this week?
Right.
And that's the way it happens. So I shouldn't say wrestlers could learn from because sometimes it's not their choice. But just having that subtle, this is who I am. Now, this situation made me this. Now I'm this. Now I'm this. And even, you look at his time when he was doing matches with The Rock. It's very different than how he was going into 2020.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the things that we got to give him some credit for. John Cena, if you're building a wrestling company and you have anyone from history that you get to pick to be in your company and you get their whole career, the good and the bad, and that means, you pick Magnum TA, guess what? His career is going to be cut short. You're not going to get the whole thing. I don't think there's we can argue who the best wrestler of all time is, but I don't think there's a better pick at number one than John Cena. When you think of the years he gave, how long he was healthy, how much he did, how good he represented your company with Make-A-Wish, with just doing publicity. I feel like he's number one as a all-time draft pick by a mile. I can't even think of a number two that would be close to him.
Well, it's funny because you mentioned about the evolution of characters, and I will say the closest director I can see would be Undertaker, and I think that would be a 1A or 2 choice, just based on longevity and evolution of the similar character. But you're right. I think you can't. I mean, you could be kind of funny, but you can't bring Undertaker to the Today Show, right?
Right.
Let's take a 98. The undead at 7:00 in the morning talking about the weather. So the Make-A-Wish thing was pretty cool, but I remember saying a long time ago, there were people who used to complain, why does Cena win every night? And Vince was like, Cena doesn't get in trouble. He goes to work, he works out. For a long time, didn't have a family. He just did this, and it paid off. And he won a lot of people over. I remember 7 years ago now, when it was pitched to me that he was the greatest of all time, I didn't hate the idea. I was like, really? Like, there was Flair and Hogan and Taker and Angle and Stone Cold. But now you go through it, it almost seems like a fact that this guy is the greatest to ever do it.
I think if I was to argue, if we were on a debate show talking about the number one of all time, I think he does have some weaknesses that I would point out, that like he only did it for one company, which I think, it's the biggest company, but I think when you compare to people who have done it in different eras and different companies and things like that.
Well, the NBA is one company. I'm kidding. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, to that point, I would say I think if you've won championships on multiple teams, it speaks more than to, that you were on one team and you won all the
That's a good question. Would you rather have 3 championships of one team dynasty, or 3 championships with different squads and different lineups if you were an athlete? I mean, Tom Brady did both, basically.
Yeah. Well, Tom Brady, I think, is a good example, because I think when he went and he won his championships away from New England, it was kind of like, yeah, this isn't because he had a great coach or the team around him or whatever. It's because he is great. And so I think that's where there's a little bit of like, man, what would have happened if John Cena had to go through NXT? What would have happened if John Cena had, jumped to another company? If he went to TNA at the time, would he have turned TNA around? Which Hulk Hogan could say he built up WWF and he built up WCW. Ric Flair can say he did it in NWA territories and in the streaming era, and I think that's where I would argue with John. I also think John Cena is the only face of the company that had declining audience through most of his time as the face of the company. But I'm sure that there's a lot of things you could point to that might not be his fact there if I was to argue. But that said, again, if I get to pick any wrestler from all time to be the start of a company, John Cena, slam dunk, hands down.
Yeah. Then Raven, got it.
Then Raven, I loved Raven, dude.
What about me?
I love Raven. And in fact, I feel like if there was a Raven today, he would be an absolute superstar.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll like, all be tired of spooky gimmicks? I know I am.
Like peak Raven, not like the blonde hair Raven or whatever, but like the like Raven's Flock Raven. Maybe update the look a little bit. I mean, I don't know if the 90s grunge necessarily works, but like that idea and the way he carried himself, man, I think he'd be a superstar today.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of a hot take, but I don't disagree. Or do I?
I do think there's too many stables, though, so the idea of a flock would be like, great, here's another
group
that,
we just have rebels without causes. I love it.
But they I think a group of the dregs of society, like, is just all the people, like, because you had Kidman that was clearly like an addict, always scratching his neck and stuff. Like, you could do that.
Oh, I thought he just had itchy clothes. That makes so much more sense.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, I don't get it. I was a kid, I didn't get it.
Oh no, yeah, he was like an addict. Yeah, he was like an addict, and then like Sick Boy also had something that was specific to him, and like they were all like, and like of course Riggs had a missing eye, and they were all just like the outcasts of society, not like in a we're the outcasts, but like the actual discarded of the world. And I feel like there's like you get the person that's addicted to their phone, and the person that's like. You know what I mean?
It's called the Cullen. Everyone's using that NXT. Sean Spears is there. I get it.
Yeah, he holds his hands like this.
Right.
I know that's not comfortable, Sean. I know
Hey,
you're like,
I guess it's different than everyone else. I must do it.
I love Sean Spears, by the way. I always say that he would win the pro wrestling best supporting actor award every year if they had one.
I like that. But deep down, just one time, I just want one 10.
I think before he goes, he's going to do it, and the place is going to go nuts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think he'll probably have some, like, once he's done, he'll probably have a moment in the Royal Rumble again, and he'll probably eliminate someone and do the, bah, like, really big, and everyone's going to go, ah!
I just hope we get it, and it's not like a, what's that?
Sean Spears has 2 of the best wrestling entrances for working out to, by the way. Not a big fan of the current one, but the AEW one and his Perfect 10, so good. So good.
Rarefied air to have 2 banger themes to work out to.
Yeah, it's a bummer that his current one isn't doesn't really fit there. And it's a bummer that Perfect 10 is off of Spotify because for some reason TKO rules the world, but you can't put a song on Spotify anymore, I guess.
That revenue is over.
Living under a rock.
In case you ever noticed.
I'm not super happy with the end of John Cena's the last 5 years.
What would it take, Jack? What would it take for you to be happy? Huh? He went around the world. You got the AJ Styles match. You got the Dominic Mysterio match. You got the Logan Paul match. He's waving to the crowds. You got promos. He told you a year in advance. What more do you want?
I think they took some risky choices, and I don't think they paid off, and I don't think they worked, and we can point fingers, whatever. If it blew up and worked great, I think we'd all be like, oh my God, geniuses. And I think sometimes you're supposed to take risks. And in fact, I think one of the biggest problems in wrestling right now is there's not enough risks being taken. So, I'm not mad about it, but I'm also just like, the heel turn, I don't think worked. I think most people just agree it didn't work. It wasn't great. And I think the second half of this, with going to the tournament and like the loss to Brock Lesnar and things like that, it feels like we're limping through. And I get what he's trying to do with Saturday Night's Main Event, with like opening the show and then making it all about NXT. But no, it's about John Cena. And he's like, oh, I don't want to do like a big old like paying, tribute to me. But yes, that's exactly what we should do. What do you
Well, call me Bret Hart, because I blame Bill Goldberg. Because Bill Goldberg's Saturday Night's Main Event was so indulgent. It was saccharine that I'm sure Don didn't want to do that.
Well, you know that in the list of Goldberg fans, my name is very close to the top. And I defended him even through the darkest times. But Goldberg ain't John Cena.
Ooh.
Goldberg ain't John Cena. I think Goldberg deserved a send-off. But I don't like John Cena. I think this last 6 months should have been just a parade of the greatest hits. Thank you so much. It should have been Avengers Endgame, where for people who watch the Marvel movies, now they're getting a little out of date, but Infinity War was like the real end. And then Endgame was kind of like a thank you for watching. And it was all just like a big thank you for everyone who paid attention and watched all the movies. And I feel like the last 6 months of this John Cena run should have been just a big thank you to everyone for watching.
What would that look like, though? Did you want exhibition matches? Did you want storylines? Did you want the tournament? Like, what would that take to give you that feeling?
I think you could have written a few stories, and I think it should have been greatest hits. Like I said, it should have been like we got the AJ Styles and whatnot, but a lot of these felt just like random guy comes out and says, I'm the next challenger. It should.
To me, that's the greatest hits. Allow me to interject here, because I'm with you. I agree with you about 20%. You had a guy with a limited dates. Obviously, he's not going to wrestle every time. Yes, the heel turn was a experiment, and it ultimately did not work, but I enjoyed it because I always asked, what if? I got that. As a fan of John Cena, I got to see what it would look like if he were to be heel. Maybe it's a selfish thing. You got the banger matches with AJ. That was kind of an exhibition thing because it was a loose format. Now, the tournament ticks me off because I thought the idea was there were so few people or for so few dates left. You wanted to showcase people, but the guy who won it was already the favorite going in. You could have just had a 2-month storyline and had that be the end. But as everything up to that, I'm on board, man. Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena at Survivor Series games was a highlight. Granted, of parts I saw, I spent most of it on the line, the merch stand in the bathroom. But the part I saw was great.
You were in line in the bathroom during a John Cena match, and you're trying to tell me it was great?
I made the mistake of having 2 of the Petco Park hot dogs, and it wasn't my fault, man.
I can't even get mad.
Vanilla spice with beans.
Can't even argue. Can't even argue. I get it. Totally get it. No, like I'm not saying. Again, I think it's fine. At the end of the day, I think it's fine. I think I think Gunther versus John Cena is going to be incredible. The idea of Gunther being the guy to end the career, I think, is great. It's fine. I think it's going to be good either way. If Gunther wins, he's a bit of a legend killer now. If Gunther loses, then he'll be that guy that got to make up for it, and he's probably going to go on a tear afterwards. So I think it's fine. I feel like, to me, doing a tournament to find a challenger is we don't have a story and we don't have anything to do and we got to do something. True. And to me, when you've got the greatest of all time, how do you not have the ability to write a story?
See, I'm with you, and I think tournaments are always that way because I know this time last year I was like, there's too many tournaments, continental classics. Why do continents do tournaments? But there's so many people that had a claim to it. I know Penta got injured. I know Sheamus got injured. And even though people would not like this, I thought The Miz would have been a great final match. I had Javon Evans going into this. So I figured someone in the writer's room was like, here's everyone that could work. Let's put them all in the mismatch. That part I kind of understood because he had 4 or 5 dates left because of the heel turn. What I'm saying is Gunther should not have won. That to me was the big quote-unquote slap in the face because then why did you have him beat Carmelo Hayes the way he did? Why have Solo have a heel versus heel matchup on Raw just to have him lose? I just didn't understand that.
Well, and I guess that's the thing is all these people could have had matches throughout. They should have been having these matches throughout the year, and having these moments throughout the year. I think they kind of, I don't want to, I was going to say blew their load, whatever. It's the last episode, with the CM Punk early on and the Randy Orton early on. I mean, really, that's who should this last match should be. I mean, I feel like he's going all over the place saying CM Punk is my wrestling soulmate. Why is it I feel like that should be what we're getting, or someone who feels like this is the end. And I know there's that wrestling mentality of you've got to put over the next generation, you've got to, do that kind of thing. But this is different. I feel like it's like Sting. Sting, yes, he could have lost to Nick Wayne and made Nick Wayne a star or whatever, but no, you're different.
Wrestling's changed. Wrestling's changed. I mean, Zack Ryder retired Tommy Dreamer's ECW run. That didn't matter. And AJ Styles retired Undertaker. That didn't matter. I just feel like there's so many people that would have been a fresh story. Because remember, before this Cena return, Cena had lost to Solo clean. And it was I haven't won a match in 2 years. And that storyline got completely dropped. So I'm I'm rewarding long-term fans in this era about John Cena. So there's 4 or 5 guys you could build a story on. Okay, we're going to put that aside for a tournament. Now the story is that I'm Gunther and I beat people. That to me, you are a disgrace to the ring before me and can't shine my boots. I know all these moves. Is going to be, I won a tournament. And not even for the title, because Dominic won it back. So I just go, that part frustrates me. But I do think it was too late. There was too few dates. Cena can't go anymore, so they wanted to go out on top. They just kind of ran out of ideas.
All this complaining. I'm going to be a child again watching Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm excited for it. And I'm sure I'm going to leave happy. Maybe I'm probably going to leave a little sad because sometimes things like this make me a little teary-eyed these days. But is there... Because honestly, I had been a wrestling fan for quite some time when John Cena started. And so in my mind, John Cena's the new generation.
Yes, he's the Dua Lipa. You're oh, wait a minute. How long did it?
Yes. I'm like,
Gomez?
how about I
what?
play something new? How about a little Fireball by Pitbull?
Right. Selena Gomez retired. I'm like, wait a minute, she just started last week.
So like, there's a little bit of that, like, oh wow, this is just another generation gone, another generation done. I'll be happy with it one way or the other. But Flobo, for you, is there anything that you feel like you need to see that would make you feel like this is a good end of the career? Just a good match? Is there a certain outcome? Is there something that you just feel like you want to see to make sure that this is like, yeah, that was a good way to go out?
Well, if you would have asked me this question 6 weeks ago, I would have said any kind of stare down or match or interaction with Sheamus, because I think Sheamus is really the first guy that Cena had made out of absolutely nowhere, and one of my all-time favorites. So as a fan, that really hurt my heart when Sheamus got injured. But for now, I mean, I think, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but Cena did everything. The thank you fans thing. Remember when I hated this, when he turned face in a promo on SmackDown the day before his match against Cody Rhodes, where he could have done that at the pay-per-view. He did that stuff. He had all the promos. He has an hour-long interview. He's doing other things. It's like, I'm not saying get out of here, but I don't feel there's anything. I'm like, I kind of wish he left his jorts in the ring. No, take him. Don't leave him.
If he does, he might become a thigh guy.
Imagine the last moment. I can't have to live my truth. I'm a thigh guy.
I have to live my truth.
Oh, man.
And he just has massive veiny legs.
Dude, I bet it. Oh, vascular and everything.
It's one of those things where he like takes off the jorts and his thighs are bigger than the jorts were.
Like a cartoon.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'd like to see? Again, I'll probably be happy either way. As long as I want to see John Cena fight and be put, whether he wins or loses, I want to see that classic, like put to the test, beaten down, kicking out, continuing to fight, and give us that like never give up kind of aura one more time.
He's tapping. He's tapping this week. He's going to give up in his last match.
That's he might. But I still want to see Gunther earn it, like hard. Like I want to see him really, really have to earn it, and like show that John Cena may be going out, but it didn't go easy. You know what I mean? Just like
I like what you're saying, but I ask you this as an NXT UK fan. You saw him against Jordan Devlin. You saw him against Ilya Dragunov twice. How does Gunther do that with John Cena?
I hope John Cena's ready to just get whooped, beat up, and keep going. I hope he's ready to get his chest all chopped up and red and gross and veiny and maybe some blood.
Ugh, no wonder we're getting canceled.
You know what I'd like to see? This isn't make or break, but we went out. You know what I'd like to see? I'm a big fan of this because they don't do it very often. I want to see the locker room empty. I want to see, after he's done, I want to see the locker room empty. I want to see everyone come out and surround the ring and cheer him. And he may say, I don't want to do that. It's not about me. It's the future. But I want to see everyone come out. I'd love to see the Undertaker show back up. I'd love to see some of the people that maybe we don't see very often. It'd be cool to see Matt Cardona back out there and the people who have had some history with John Cena to come out there and like put them up on their shoulders. And I think it'd be really fun too if they had like a really nice tribute video afterwards while he's still in the ring. So maybe we see him choke up a little bit. Maybe put him on the spot there, see him tear up.
You're like bloodthirsty, but for tears.
Yes, tear thirsty. Anyone can bleed. I want you to cry.
That sounds more evil.
So yeah, I think that would be like really cool to see, and just all the people that like even if like Brock comes out for him, and even the people who you wouldn't think should come out for him. I think those are the things that make you really go like, oh, like not just the faces. I feel like that's kind of okay, like whatever, but like even the people who were really bad guys coming out and being like, yeah, I gotta tip my hat to you. Kind of like when Superman died, and even Lex Luthor's like, oh, he was the best,
Yeah.
Just,
wait, top of the ramp, applaud, and you like go down to the ring and like hip hip hooray him.
I think they should hip hip hooray him.
Wow. Wow.
I think they should do it big. I think they need to make it and then like shoot off just a ridiculous amount of pyro, like so much pyro the stock goes down because they spent so much money on it. You know what I mean? Like,
I just imagine Bruce Pritchard like, "Hey, John, we're cutting your match by 4.5 minutes. Why? Don't worry about it." Okay.
we're gonna put a new parking lot up across the street by blowing this whole thing.
Right.
That's what I would like to see, and I would like to, and he should end the show, with some words, not get cut off for time.
Yeah,
which happens shockingly a lot for some reason.
Yeah.
In both companies, like I don't know why.
Time. Yeah.
Like,
which is weird AEW because they have an overrun. That still happens. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's always like when a legend is finishing up, and they're like, "I just had one thing to say."
Big Bang Theory's on, guys. Got to run. Want to watch some Jimmy Fallon clips here?
But yeah, John Cena, truly one of the best. Almost as good as our show has been for the past 6 years.
Wow.
Talk to me, Flobo, as we get to our final 15 here. I was thinking about how much the world has changed since we've been doing this, right? Like, it's weird to think going back to those early days of us hosting shows and thinking that we were going to go through a global pandemic, thinking that we were going to go through Thunderdomes and John Cena's retirements and boneyard matches and a new company starting and horror shows and zombie matches. Pineapple Pete. Oh my Lord.
Who is that?
Mimosa matches. And so talk to me just about like over our time together, just like the changes of the world. Any moments that stand out to you? I got to say, I'm going to start with one that lives rent-free in my head and will probably follow me to the end of my days. And while I'd like my final moments to be thinking as I die someday about my family, it'll probably be about Shaw Samuels in the middle of a match saying, "My name's not Ed Harvey, it's Shaw Samuels."
Dude, it's a cut that no one that see that show gets, but it was like, what? Don't lie. I'm Shaw Samuels.
Look, that was the most awesome thing I've ever seen in pro wrestling, Flobo. Yeah. Shaw Samuels not going by his WWE name and making damn sure everybody knew it. What are some moments that stood out for you just in pro wrestling or maybe on the show, like running out of pens?
Oh shit, that was a deep AfterBuzz cut. Where is Umberto now? Is he in AAA or whatever? The Shaw Samuels thing was crazy because we had Andy Shepard in the show, by the way. That got us the award a couple years ago back. He didn't understand what's going on either, which made it even better. He goes, "I don't know. It's just Shaw Samuels." For me, it's the era of the 2-night WrestleMania, man. Like I think WrestleManias 1 through 35 is like a chapter in my life where I go one night, 8 hours, get all the snack food, Super Bowl, and the stuff we have now to me seems like a very hard delineation. Now, I know it's kind of a weird thing, but Kofi Mania happening at WrestleMania 35, that stupid wooden championship. WrestleMania 35, women main eventing the show, the single night at WrestleMania 35 to me was just such a landmark thing. And COVID came and kind of like not broke it up, but changed it forever. But yeah, that was like my big thing.
Yeah, the first female main event of WrestleMania was a really powerful moment. It was actually a moment I remember. It hit me a lot harder than I thought it would when it happened. Also, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair really hit me hard. When it happened, it's like when they first announced, I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Like that's good. Cool. It's about time. It's about time they do this, and whatnot." And then when it happened, and they're having that stare down with each other at the beginning. That stare down may not be the right word, but it was more like the acknowledgement, and like you said, Michael Cole. On the call, acknowledging it as well. It just that hit me emotionally. Wow, what a powerful moment.
Yeah, it's funny too because maybe I don't want to be like guys. I don't see color because those guys are the worst racists. But yeah, but when Cole said it with his chest, first time main event 2 black women, I was like, okay, yeah, on one level it is about the race, but on the other it was like, there was a time where wrestling was like this whole thing, and now Cole had the chance to cut through and really show his knowledge as a war correspondent or a journalist. And yeah, people will give Michael Cole his flowers now, but really 19 to 2020, even before the Vince's disposal, where he was able to say what he liked and what he believed and what he didn't like and be more Starky. I mean, that to me made wrestling fresh. But I always say this too, that came like 2020. I was getting tired and bored of wrestling in 2018-19 if it wasn't for NXT UK. So imagine if I quit. I was like, phooey. I would have missed so much good stuff, man. And it's just a great thing to be a part of, for sure.
Yeah, the NXT UK really revived a lot of my love for that. And I love, like, if NXT UK was still on, this show would be going on 100%. Because back then too, it was a nice, easy show to watch. It was a great show, but it was easy to watch. I didn't have to tune into, oh, well, this person's now also doing things on this other show and this other company, and now there's PLE. And like, there's just so much stuff. And now, back then, man, that show was so good. And I was very skeptical when you told me to start watching it. And I was like, yeah, I guess I will. But then quickly fell in love with it. And, everyone makes fun, like, oh, you're the guy that watched it, because everyone acts like no one watched it. But look at wrestling right now. It's all former NXT UK people, whether it be Gunther or Dragunov or Pretty Deadly or Jordan Devlin or JD McDonough. Tyler. The entirety of Grande Americano's group. So many of them were from NXT UK, and talking with Andy Shepherd was so cool, and he was such a great guy, and getting to meet him on the show, but also in person, being the kind of guy that like connects with you when we were at WrestleMania and being like, hey, let's chat, let's whatever. And that was a really cool thing. And probably my favorite overall real moment was meeting Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania, and him being so cool.
Right, 38.
Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah. That's to me, and I know that so many wrestling podcasts like to post pictures of like interviewing people, and maybe a little better about that too. But and to the record, Carmelo came up to you, not us, but you. So for context, y'all, and I forgive me if I say this, but we're both at the bar by the hotel, but we're both not drinking for different reasons. So we're like smashing cranberry juices. It's a long story. And Carmelo
very healthy urinary tract.
Yeah, we do it for our urinary tracts. But Carmelo comes in with MVP, who was a WWE at the time, and I'm not sure if last year was there, but it was a group of brothers that came in and they were having a time, and Carmelo broke away. They came over to the two coolest guys with cranberry juices. It was like, you know what? I've been seeing Draped in Gold. I love what you guys doing. You guys get it. He was talking to you, but he said, you guys get it. And that meant the world, because at the time, Draped in Gold was completely kayfabe. It was like First Take. It was like undisputed. And I was like, Jack, you're crazy. And he understood why we did that, to give a way to like give critique in a way that uplifted the show, because we knew NXT UK needed the love. And so that to me was always going to be a highlight. And Carmelo could do no wrong for me, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I will be his number one fan forever because of that. And also just to anyone, if you have the chance to let people know they're doing a good job, let them know, because it can be very powerful.
Especially for them. DJs. Please let DJs know they're doing a good job. I'm just thinking out there.
All you got to do if it's a DJ, all you got to do is this. Like, no matter where you're at in the building, make lock eye contact and just go.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I got you.
Like, just give them the point.
Yep.
You go. That's right.
Because we need that adoration.
A few other things that were kind of big moments for me is after the pandemic first hit. I remember that first episode of AEW Dynamite. I want to give a shout out to, and it's not really fair because WWE got hit first with the what are we gonna do? And those first shows were bad. Not their fault. I'm not judging them for it, but it was like the Stone Cold night, and it was like really uncomfortable, and no one had figured out quite how to do it yet. And I don't think AEW figured it out on their first show, but they had it felt a little bit more wrestling. I remember in those weird, tumultuous times, just feeling like, wow, like the normalcy of like, wow, a wrestling show. This is so important and powerful to have this to go to. And it's the power of pro wrestling, I think, to be able to go, look, I can tune out all this nonsense in the world and watch this show. And AEW, I think, has been so good for pro wrestling. It kills me that so many people are so upset with it all the time. And it kills me that so many people are so stupid about how they defend it.
Yeah.
But AEW, start to wrap it up, is I feel like has been just as valuable to the growth of pro wrestling the past 6 years as anything WWE has done.
I would even say more valuable. Now, I rolled my eyes when, and this is kind of hard to explain this to people who are not from the United States, but when Governor DeSantis of Florida had declared professional wrestling an essential business during COVID, it was like, what? but what happened was it kind of made two bases, one in Jacksonville and one in Orlando, where people can drive back and forth and do spot work. If they weren't on the main roster of either of these promotions, they can like be security or be Pineapple Pete or what have you. So already curating a small network, and AEW would not have been faulted if they cease operations. When you start a new wrestling company or any company, it's so assume that you won't be able to financially pull through your first 2 years. You'll be in the red, but they pushed through. And if you argue that it was after the main phase of COVID, the summer camp phase, as I like to call it, the Tiger King phase, as I like to call it, where they had the debuts and it got really, really hot, and it felt like, oh man, AEW hit their stride. And you know what? Props with TK, because he could have said, hey, look, like XFL 2020, hey man, pandemic came, sorry, we're gonna wrap this up, and he didn't, and now it's still setting today.
Yeah, and we always talk about the amount of jobs that was created. We always talk about the the opportunities that are there. There are absolutely. I know people who have gotten to work with AEW. I know people who have gotten to work with WWE. And it's just been so awesome that they've been there. And I think that their growth and their success has a bit to do with TNA getting a TV deal as well. I think them showing that, look, you can be successful with a wrestling company that isn't WWE. And it makes AMC go, you know what? We can get this live program and it works. It doesn't have to have these 3 letters to be successful. And I'm not saying that it was, that Tony Khan deserves a thank you letter or anything, but I do think that it shows that, you don't need necessarily to be WWE to have a successful wrestling company on television. And I think getting it to cover AEW has been a real joy for me as well throughout this time. And I know some people hate AEW and the way it operates. Some people hate WWE. Some people hate whatever. But for me, I've always loved the challenger brands in pro wrestling. I think if you go back and listen to most of my conversations about watching wrestling, I'm always like, I love WCW. I loved ECW. I love TNA. I loved Lucha Underground. I love UK. I've always loved the challenger brands. I've always loved the people who are trying to take on the big guy, and that's. I like WWE as well, obviously, but I've always loved that, and so I'm really glad that we have a healthy challenger brand, and I just wish nothing but success for them. And Tony Khan, even though you couldn't make it on the show, I know you really wanted to be on and whatnot.
Okay, yeah.
But I could just tell he wanted to be on really bad.
Right, of course.
But he wasn't able. The schedules, a busy Continental Classic is going on, and the whole Warner Brothers sale and all this other stuff. Just couldn't make it. I get it. He's a busy guy. But don't worry, TK. If you ever want to have a little chit chat, we can record something. And I'm gonna tell you what. If we had Tony Khan on, let me tell you the first thing we were gonna do. We were gonna play. Is it a finisher? And I was that's the first thing I wanted to do, because he says he knows all this stuff about pro wrestling. I wanted to test that fella.
That's a deep cut, man. That is you had to be a long-term fan to get that one.
Is it a finisher hosted by Flobo Boyce? And I was just gonna listen, and I was gonna critique whether or not he got things right or wrong. And like, I thought you knew, pal. And then I wanted to also talk to him about e-fetting, because he said he's an e-fetter. I wanted to I wanted to talk to TK about where he e-fetted. Yes, I e-fetted, and I was the best. But
okay, so what was your league like? Was it just straight for promos, or you guys had a simulator?
We used the promos.
Okay. Yeah.
But I want to know where he was. I want to know what TK's character name was in E-Fetting.
Oh, that's cringe. I think myself. Oh,
I think we got to know. I got to know what
was yours?
What was your character? What was the character? Speaking of finishers, I want to know what TK's finisher was in E-Fetting. When TK makes himself in the video game, and I know TK makes himself in the video game, what finisher does he give himself? I want to know, hey, TK, I want to know if you give yourself realistic stats or if you give yourself idealized stats. I give my realistic stats. 10s across the board, baby.
That is not realistic.
Bam! Bam!
At all. This guy gives us 100 rating in 2K thinking it's normal. Like, hey, wait a minute.
every move is a finisher, too.
Oh, you're one of those guys? Remember the games you could chain finishers together? I was like,
weak grapple, last ride powerbomb.
Stop! God, I hate you. You're one of those guys.
Weak strike, sweet chin music.
You're the guy trying to actually win by roll-ups in video games.
I'm trying to win any way I can, baby. So I want to talk to TK. Look, I might talk to TK about current pro wrestling.
Right.
Well, I would sell him sell. He's a salesman, so I would definitely be like, tell me all about World's End. It's coming up. I'm very excited about it. Tell me about Samoa Joe versus Eddie Kingston and all this other stuff. I would definitely promote Flobo. That's the whole point. But I want to talk to him. I want to ask him all sorts of questions about his wrestling fandom that maybe he doesn't expect to come here.
I like it. Good thing he passed. CEO of a company is like, so anyway, if you E-Fetted, what was
technically he did not pass.
Oh, he did not. Technically.
No.
Did he receive the message?
Well, who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say? I like to believe Tony Khan saw it and he did everything he could to try to make it happen. He moved heaven and earth, but something happened. He got in the way. He couldn't make it. And I like to think that maybe someone important to him is getting married, and they're getting married on a Tuesday. And now he sat at the ceremony with his phone out, watching the show, punching the air, going, God, I could have told them what my character's name was.
Imagine this, though. Indulge me.
Did you E-Fed?
I did. And
okay, now tell me what you're gonna say, and then we're gonna revisit this.
Okay, so imagine if we're doing the last episode and Tony Khan actually sees this episode of all the other ones and says, I want to get on.
Yeah.
How quickly do we revive the show to have him on?
I pull over if I'm driving, and I do it from the car. We do it a lot. We go right there. Prep time? Prep time's for losers, baby. I go live. I don't need prep time. I just pull from the ether.
This is why we only won one award 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
But yeah, this is a good run, Flobo. I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate you putting up with this. You brought this back on my accord. I asked, and you did it. I've always appreciated that.
We didn't change the name because we were lazy, but we wasn't going to do name, but we didn't do it.
Prep time is for the losers, baby.
It is. No, but this is actually fun. I mean, I think there's very few people that get it, what I always wanted to do with wrestling. And I hate to say, what's the why? But the why was always I want to be able to share a love of a thing that used to be forbidden with the cool kids. And now you can be a nerd and be cool. I mean, I look at Kaz, and Kaz is way cooler than I am. And Kazim is out there doing things. So I'm glad you're in rock with me for so long, for sure.
Kaz is a little too cool.
Yeah.
He needs to nerdy up a little bit.
Oh, really?
Kaz is awesome. I appreciate Kaz and getting to work with him. But yeah, he's super cool. Everything he does, I'm like, man, wait, I'm doing pretty good. And then I see him do something like, oh, geez, that's so cool.
My dumbass is like, hey, I'm watching All In, and I tune it on, and Kaz is in the crowd hanging out with Swerve. Like, what? Come on! Are you kidding me?
But But yeah, I appreciate this, Flobo. I appreciate everyone who joined us. Kayla, thank you so much for being such a supporter here.
Yeah.
And George Hermosa, always great to see you. George Hermosa was the first person that put me on the regular on one of these shows, so I'll always appreciate
That's
George
true.
Hermosa.
That is Jack Lore right there.
Hashtag bring back Jack or bring Jack back.
Nope. Let's bring back Jack, but I just disagreed even then.
Yeah, you still do. But yeah, I've always appreciated you've always been the easiest partner to work with for these things. I think you and I are very different, but we're always of the same mind in how we do this. I think we both agree that we just want to get people to laugh. I love getting to do the kayfabe stuff. That was my favorite era. But I think it's time, Flobo. Do you have any final words you'd like to say?
Yeah, we never talk about wrestling with their questions because that was a dark side quest. No, man. They still exist. I have to put it.
I'll talk about e-fetting before I talk about wrestling with your questions.
Hey, we all know it's cringe, but we all did it, man. We all did it. So you're among friends here. But let me record this first so I can use it against you later. Oh, man, this is a lot of fun. I mean, over 200 episodes of this show, over 5 years to covering wrestling the way we did it. And we didn't really have to have a negative show. We didn't really have to do things to spite people. We didn't really got into any controversies because, again, most people didn't know we were live. I mean, it's amazing. And I wouldn't do it with anyone else, man, but this guy.
I will say, I think one of the great things that we should be proud of is I don't think followers are like indicative of a good job necessarily or success, but it does seem that any wrestler or person in wrestling that came across our show, and I've joked many times about who watches our show, and I'm sure they don't, but any wrestler that I know for sure that has come across our show has gone on to like the show or follow us on social media in some way. And I think it's because, like you said, I've never wanted to be bitter. I think you're the same way. I never wanted to be mean-spirited. And always just share that this is a love of pro wrestling and come at it from an entertainment first standpoint. The dream for me, I still dream about one day getting to be on a pre-show, and I'm still going to keep pushing for that. One of these days, listen, wrestling companies with pre-shows, you're missing out right now. This team, the American Announce Table right here, you know.
Boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy. Even if we're
yeah, are you this way or are you this way?
Yeah, no.
Hey, okay, that way.
Why? No, other way.
Okay.
Hey. Why is it so hard to do this?
No idea.
But yes, it was always very, and that's really something I'm proud of. I'm proud of the people who have watched us and stuck with us for so long. You guys, you're so appreciated. But before we drag this on any longer than it has to, one more thank you. And over the years, we have ended the show with a phrase that my grandma used to say, and always means a lot to me: do your best and be yourself. My grandfather passed away a little while back. He also had a saying: it was work hard and have fun. And I feel like we did all of those things throughout the years. There's a lot of different people that watch this show, and there's a lot of different cultures and backgrounds. I'm from the Northwest, but I guess my culture is Irish. And
yes, is it not?
I mean, it feels weird to say that's my culture because I don't have shamrocks in my house or anything, you know.
People put 1% on that answers.com and says, "Oh, I'm Antarctica now," and that's just the way it is, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I say this because I think as we say goodbye, where I come from or where my people come from, we have a certain way of saying goodbye, and in honor of that, I'd like to end the show by saying.